Border Patrol agent and a serial killer at the same time is sentenced to life in prison for murdering 4 women in 12 days. Juan David Ortiz, that's the name of the serial killer, and he's a federal agent working for the Border Patrol agent, and he's a serial killer. Prosecutors said Border Agent Juan David Ortiz was a serial killer. He has been sentenced to life in prison for killing 4 women and maybe raping them in a Texas border town. Juan David Ortiz, a Border Patrol agent who murdered 4 women in 12 days, has been sentenced to life in prison after being convicted in a Texas court. Ortiz, 39, was accused by authorities of being a serial killer who preyed on women because he wanted to clean up the streets of Laredo, a border town where all 4 victims live. I guess it's the judge and the jury, and at the same time, like the movie Dread. This guy is crazy. Mr. Ortiz was a serial killer then, and he's a serial killer now and forever and forever. And I don't think so psychiatrists can help this guy. Isidro Alice said in a closing arguments last week, quote, Colos, calculating just like that, it is terrifying to have the enemy within the ranks of law enforcement. Yeah. Ortiz was convicted on all charges against him, 4 counts of first-degree capital murder, aggravated assault, unlawful resistance. Juries delivered for 5 hours after a 2-week trial before finding him guilty last week. He was automatically sentenced to life in prison. Alice said he did not pursue the death penalty because the victim's relative anonymously asked him not to say execution will be an easy out for the man who killed their loved ones with a point-blank shots to the head of the neck. That's how I feel too. There's no point of killing someone. If that was my family, I would first forgive that sick motherfucker, but do not kill him. Let him suffer. That's the thing. Let him. I don't know if he would suffer, but I let him suffer and get as much help that he needs. All right, back to the story. Ortiz victims were sex workers, many of whom struggled for years with drug addiction, the family said, and those workplace was San Bernardo Avenue, a tight pack throughout thoroughfare of cheap motels, auto body shops, taco stands, and convenience store. In a 9-hour interview with investigators, Ortiz confessed to the killing. I was continuing drive on San Bernardo, and then this is when the monster came out, Ortiz said in his videotape confession, which was played in court. His defense lawyer has unsuccessfully argued the confession was coerced and that his client was a broken man who suffered insomnia and PTSD. His victims were Giusilda Alicia Hernandez, age 35, Claudine Ann Lorava, age 42, Melissa Ramirez, 29, Nikki Enriquez, 28, and a transgender woman. They were killed in 2018. During the trial, which began on November 28, relatives of the victims sat in court, at time becoming overcome with emotion as details emerged of their family members' deaths and autopsy findings were read out loud. One jury fainted as explicit autopsy photos were shown. Oh, that's explicit autopsy, but it has to be shown. The courtroom also heard the testimony of Erica Pena, who told juries Ortiz picked her up on September 14, 2018, and took her to his house while his wife and kids were out of town. He was acting strangely, and while later riding in his truck, he pulled a gun and held it to her head. She testified. He pointed right at my face. Pena said when she opened the passenger door to jump, he grabbed her shirt, but she was able to break free and run, wearing only her bra from the waist up, she said. Somehow, I took off running with my teacher, like she's really running for her life. I was running without my shirt, she testified. I took off my running, I snapped. Family members were given the opportunity to confront their relative's killer after his conviction. Maria Cristina Benavides, the mother of C. Ramirez, spoke in Spanish. Melissa was a noble, sensitive person. You have no right to take her life. That's right, you have no right to take anyone's life. She told Ortiz, he was my life, and now my life is destroyed. So that is the story of this serial killer, Border Patrol agent serial killer sentenced to life in prison for murdering 4 women in 12 days. Peace out and Merry Christmas, and subscribe and follow me. Follow me!